Relax your shoulders. Find some length at the back of the neck. I was looking at people the other day. I was in Southampton in the park and I was seeing some people here, and I just wanted to go and kind of lift them back up, but then I could still think their heads dip forward. So really think about the ears just touching over the shoulders. So not only, you know, we take the shoulders back, but think what the head's doing. So sometimes it means just pressing it backwards, okay, to get the length at the back of the neck. The crown of head goes up to the ceiling. So we're just growing nice and tall. Pull in pelvic floor, pull in on the TVA, 100% squeeze to the point where you're almost holding your breath, and we'll hold that for 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then slow release, and then go again. Pulling in 100%, find that pelvic floor front bit, that back bit, draw them together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and a slow release. Last time. Pulling in that pelvic floor, that transverse abdominis, tummy button drawing back to the spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow release it just halfway, so not so much you're holding your breath. Hands at heart center. Breathing in, circle them down and around, and you could take your eye gaze up here, tall mountain, then circle them around, then chin to chest, slow roll down, soften the knees. Take the fingertips down to the floor, uncurl, and then go again up into tall mountain. So maybe palms together on your tall mountain. Breathing out. Press the air away. Come down, slow roll downs. And again, lifting up. Baby back bends in there if you feel comfortable with that. Almost imagine it's like you're just painting your aura around your body. You're cleansing it, refreshing it from the day. Breathing in left, breathing out, coming down. Thinking about it vertebrae by vertebrae. Keep the pelvis tucked under. Two more. Breathing into left. Push the air away. Coming to center then. Now, if you've got weights, you might want to put them in now. Going to go to a side bend. So feet hip width apart, soften knees, tuck the pelvis under, and side bend with your weights in your hands. Nice and simple. Just allow the weight to kind of pull you down into your side bend. If you're without weights, you could add in the arm and lift it up over the head for a bit more of a side body stretch. Find the pelvic floor, find TVA. Check your pelvis is tucked under, we're not arching in the lower back, so keep that tucked under, soften the knees. Equal weight underneath the feet, the heels, the toes, the ball of the foot. Breathing out as you reach it down. 3 more, and then we'll go 4, just without the weights and just holding a bit more of a stretch. So if you bend the knees, place the weights just in front, then you can do some nice big sweeps. So we're just trying to get a little bit more length in there. Just gonna let the body float so it gets a little bit more of a natural flow. And then last one. Then release. Good. We'll go back to weights, but we'll go squats. So you can do a squat to go down and get your weights if you want. So bend the knees. Picking up the weights and circle around over to tall mountain, and then come back down into your squats. Feet, knees, hip width apart. Check your feet are parallel, they're facing forwards. Squeezing glutes as you lift. Particularly when you take weights over your head, notice if you're arching in the lower back. So just tuck the pelvis under. Stay strong in the core as you lift weights over the head. If you're without weights, you could take it up onto the toes for balance as you go up. Just keeping an eye on what's happening with the knees. Try not to let the knees pronate in. Front raise at the when you're down into your squat. 3 more. Then an easy twist, so shoulders just relax and then just allow the weights to rotate around the body, soften the knees, engage the core. So you've got that little kind of 30% on the pelvic floor, 30-40 on the TVA. You could perhaps look around your shoulder. Just relax the upper body. Breathing out. So go to shoulders down and back. So if you want to do a couple of little circles in here, length at the back of the neck. Now check you're not dipping that head forwards. Scapular set, so tuck the elbows in. Take the thumbs back to the back of your room. Check you're not, if you've got your weights here, you're not dropping in the wrist. So stay strong in the wrist, strong in the forearm. Getting that squeeze on the shoulder blades. If you haven't done this all day and you've been sat at a desk or anything like that or driving, you might notice it feels a bit tight maybe in there. If you want to add in, you could take a balance, so just lift up onto balance on one foot, and then perhaps you could draw something in front on the floor just to test your balance. I'm drawing a little heart for compassion. That was another one of my intentions at one point through the week. You could draw any kind of symbol, anything you want. Then swap legs. Again, just drawing. So it's just a little bit of ankle, a little bit of balance work. It's quite hard, isn't it, to link it in with doing 2 things at once. So a shoulder press, so that's a shoulder press. So you bend the elbow and you lift the weight over the head. I'll show you again. So it's just lifting up. Now notice what happens with your neck or your head. So try and get your head still as you do your shoulder press. Don't bend into it. Stay strong in the core. And then just see if you can add in a high knee on the opposite side. And then you swap sides. So shoulder press and a high knee. So it's just working a little bit into balance. And you can do that without the weights as well. Same thing, reaching up with one hand, high knee on the other. So use your big toe as a bit of an anchor. Use your glutes. Use your pelvic floor. Then we'll add into that, we'll use the shoulder press still, but we'll bring in the deadlift as well. So you've got opposite hand, lift to the opposite knee, and then you can come down, both hands coming down into a deadlift, and then you can swap it over, so you've got the same move, shoulder press, opposite knee lift, and then into your deadlift, and then you keep working through. Soften the knee as you go down onto a deadlift, so you're not extending at the back of the leg, the hamstring on a deadlift. It's deadlift's more thinking about the glute to hamstring link, more so than working on a hamstring, full stretch. So a nice cross-body balance into a glute strengthening exercise. Check your hip width, so try not to bring it all onto the midline. Three more. So if you can bring the eye gaze forwards as you do your high knee balance, because we often want to keep looking down. So if you can shift the eye gaze. Last one. Wide squats, comfortable wide squats. You can allow the feet to turn out and just take the big circles all the way around if you've got the weights. If you haven't got weights, you could, if you haven't got the weights, you could bend in the knees, bring the hands all the way down to the floor. With weights, I'd stay central, stay strong, forearm one way. Try and keep your head still. Try and keep your shoulders relaxed. Your core engaged, pelvis tucked under. Still one of my favourite moves. Last time. Okay, put the weights to the side. We're going to do the same routine that I did last week. So we start in the downward dog and then we come out, go to high lunges and all sorts. So, but I'm going to try and get a bit slower today to see. So just see if I can set myself up so I'm all in. Picture for you. Yeah, it's a little bit better. So I realised last week I wasn't all in. So find yourself down into a downward dog, maybe forward fold. Spread fingers, perhaps walk through if you're a little bit tight before we go into the sequence. If you're struggling to get your triangle shape, then maybe do a plank. Then send the hips up, so if you can explore hinging from the hips. Walking through, pedaling through. Perhaps just think here for a moment of something you're really grateful about your body. You're really grateful for. Maybe it moves, it can move. It still moves. Mine still moves after all the abuse I do when I go running. Yeah. A couple of deep breaths, then we're going to step through with the right leg to a high lunge. So come up, it is a bit of a balanced position. Finding that kind of point of balance. Check your hip width. You're pushing through that back heel. So this back leg, this left leg is as straight as you can. You're bending into the right. Reach up with the left hand. Take a bit of a side bend. So it's nice hip flexory tight stretch. Breathe in and expand through the rib cage. Eye gaze forwards. Then we're going to put in a twist. So left hand forwards and then rainbow right arm all the way around. Couple of deep breaths here for a full twist. See if you can really reach the arms wide to the sides. Coming back to centre, then you're going to cartwheel the left hand over for your warrior two. So the legs stay in the same position. Now with the hips, you want to square the hips to the sides of the mat. Arms are out to the sides. And that's when you square these hips around that you start getting the stretches kind of down the hamstrings and the opening on the hips. Breathing in, widen the rib cage. Breathing out, just try and soften through the body, take a release. From here, we go into triangle, so you go straighten the right leg and just reach down with the right hand. Left arm reaches up to the ceiling, and this is a little bit more intense, the stretch on this front, this right leg on the hamstring. When you can really start to suck up the mat with your feet, like you're standing in some mud. Couple of deep breaths here. Feel the stretch and then release the stretch. Give everything a bit of a softening in the knee, like kind of knees and things. Spin it back round to that high lunge. Step forwards and then the left leg goes in front. So you cross the legs, reach the arms up, interlink the fingers. Big tall mountain here, drawing the core, tuck the pelvis under. And then breathing out, release, and then coming down, forward fold, IT band stretch. You can keep that back leg quite straight on this one. Front leg stays bent. Then think as if you can get your chin towards your chest, so you're looking back to your knees. Arms completely relaxed here. Just checking in that you're not holding your breath. Slowly uncurl, unravel, and then just step back gently, so not a high lunge, to a calf stretch. Do you remember this last week? So you've got your left leg behind. Push down through the left heel, so you feel a little bit of calf stretch. Then slightly different from last week, eagle arms, so cross the elbows, interlink forearms, and then just explore a side bend here. So kind of dip one shoulder down to one side, and then center, and it will challenge your balance, and then over to the other side. See if you can keep your eye gaze towards your fingers. Still pressing down that back heel on the left for the calf stretch. Taking these gentle side to side bends. Then straightening front leg, and you might want to shift, bring your legs a bit closer for the intense flank stretch. This is the hamstring stretch, and today I'm going to put blocks in. Your choice, if you've got anything or you want to use anything. You could use a piece of furniture as well. Otherwise, you hold on to your legs. Blocks are quite useful just because what you can do with the blocks is really focus on squaring the hips to the front. That's when you'll get the right stretch here, is think what the hips are doing. Square them to where you're facing. Feet are facing the same way, your hip width. You feel a really intense stretch here on the right leg. On the back of the right leg, and then what you can work on is send the chest forwards, shoulders back, and get that kind of nice flat back position. Crown of head in line with spine. So you might not be as low as I am. You might be exactly what I'm seeing, which is what I Chris is. You might be in a slightly different position, but you're still getting that flat back. That's the thing you're aiming for here. Big deep breath, widen rib cage. Then step it all back. Let's go back into downward dog for a minute just to walk it out. See if it feels a little bit different. Perhaps notice anything feels different on the left or on the right side here. Does it feel like it's got a little bit more space? A bit more blood flowing around? So then we'll step the left foot forwards. Take this high lunge on the left now. Left foot forwards. Again, find your balance, hip width. Push into that back heel. Then you've got your side stretch. So just reaching the right arm up, find the hip flexor stretch in there. Eye gaze forwards. Couple of deep breaths. Then rainbowing left arm back to find that twist through the upper body. So we've got the right arm forwards, left leg forwards. And it is a hard twist this, it's a really hard one to master, it's one to practice. Keep working, left hand back. Big deep breath in. Ready to go, cartwheel it round for the warrior two. I'm going to have my back facing you now. So bring it round to your warrior two. Line up your heels. And your wrists should sit over your feet. That's another way of quite nice thing to look at. Wrists over the feet. Squaring the hips to the front of the side of your mat. Ready to spin this to triangle. So straighten this left leg. Sometimes you can adjust and bring the feet closer together. Reach the right arm up towards the ceiling, opening with the chest. Lots of stretching here underneath the left leg. Big deep breaths in, wider rib cage. Spin that all forwards, back to your high lunge. Ready to step it forwards. Cross it over. Reaching up, interlink the fingers, breathing in. Breathing out. Come down, chin to chest. Stretching on the backs of the leg. Just allow the body to surrender. Slowly uncurl, unravel the feet. Just gently step back astride for your calf stretch. Push down through that back heel. Then you find your eagle arms, opposite sides if you can. Interlink the fingers, and again, just exploring a side bend on a balance. Just allowing your shoulder to dip, eye gaze forwards or eye gaze towards the fingers. Engaging the core, find the pelvic floor. Keep holding the calf stretch, keep pressing down that right heel. Then find that intense flank stretch, so just straightening that front leg. If you need to adjust, sometimes it means bringing legs a bit closer together, putting in blocks or using any furniture if you want, for something to reach to, or just thinking about holding onto the thighs. But let's really work on this straight back, so shoulders down and back, crown of head in line with spine. Squaring these hips to the front of the mat. Don't let them wiggle. They always want to wiggle around. Feet facing forwards. Send the hips back. Fill the rib cage with air. A couple of deep breaths. Softening that front knee. Go back down to your downward dogs. Last time. Just a little walk through. How does it feel now having done both sides? Quite a lot of deep, heavy stretching. Perhaps go right up onto the toes. Gently press down through the heels. Then bending in the knees. We'll come onto all fours. Need a little bit of space either side of the mat for rainbow glutes. I'm just going to adjust so that I've got that. Adding in, if you want, you could put in one weight to this. So if you have your weights ready, either side of the mat. So let's go with the right first, because we finished stretching on the left. So extend, squeeze the glutes, pull in the core, neutral spine, lift up the left leg. Drop it to the side, rainbow it over to the other side. It's a nice glute stretch and strengthen. Really focus on being really still in the centre though, nice and using the core, pelvis tucked under, we're not arching in the lower back. Then option is left hand salute or left hand with the weight out to the side and in. Out to the side as you go over to the right and in. So it's just a little lateral lift to adding in. Try and keep the rainbow in there. It's really easy for it to drop. Keep working with the glutes. 2 more. Then we'll go on the other side. Start with the leg first. I keep touching the plant behind me. Straighten out left leg. Get the extension first, pull in the core, check your neutral spine, then start doing the little rainbows across. Try and feel the glute kind of work, so we're not just unconsciously doing the move, we're actually noticing which muscles are working, it's active. crown head in line with spine, so try not to look back down at your legs. And then if you did the add in, you want to do the same, you need the space. Just putting in when you go across to the left, take the weights to the right, little lateral lift. Try and keep the rainbow, especially if you put the weight in, the leg tends to drop. Notice it with me. Keep working, keep the activeness in the glutes. 3 more. Last one. Nice. Okay, so release either a low lunge, so you've got your nice standard low lunge. You could bring the arms up over the head, or I think we did this last week, pigeon. So very similar setup to the low lunge, but you just bring your leg and you bring it to the side. Take a moment to get upright. Shoulders down and back, lift up the chest. Breathing in to get tall, and then you could breathe out, soften and bring it down if you want to, onto elbows, and you could bring the forehead down onto the hands. 3 deep breaths, so either low lunge, reaching the arms up, or pigeon, bringing it down. Then we'll literally swap sides. So again, you can set up the same with a low lunge, and then you can bring yourself into your pigeon or just stick with the low lunge. Take a moment to grow tall, breathe in, lift up the chest, but let the shoulders release, and then if you want to, you can bring it down. See if you can get the body to surrender. 3 deep breaths. So from there, come lie down on your front. We'll do the glute activation, so just rest your forehead on your hands. You might want to close your eyes. See if you can get the chain, the glute squeeze, the hamstring engaged, then the lower back on the other side, stabilising the hips. So let's just go for 8 of these. So breathing out, squeeze the glutes, lifting up one leg. Check it stays on the hip width. So check it doesn't go wobbling over onto the midline. So check you're on hip width, you're working with kind of walking, running alignment. Perhaps even pointing the toes, reaching the feet off the end of the mat. Thinking about length as well. Then T-shape with the arms, so arms to the sides. Hopefully you've got a bit of space. If you haven't, cactus the arms. When we did this like on the first week, so just let the head rest, bend both knees, and it was just a simple twist. So gently bring the feet over to one side. Allow the body to move here. So the head wants to move, looks to the side. You know, the shoulder wants to lift. Just allow some movement. Allow the body to do what it needs to do to find its way into the twist. I'll just adjust my screen slightly. I feel like I'm missing a bit of my mat on the picture. So then we're just going to set up for a swan dive. So either cactus the arms Or if you like the T-shape, work with the T-shape. Breathing out, lift head and shoulders. Now keep the crown of head in line with spine. Breathing in, lower. Allow the feet to spread, so don't try and keep the feet together. Just allow the lower body to completely relax on this. Adding in, you might want to lift the arms up. Breathing out as you lift. Breathing in as you lower. Now you could add a little bit more, bring in an extension, reach the arms forwards, then back to your cactus and lower. 3 more, whichever version that you're in. Keep engaging with the core. Visualize that length through the spine, all the way to the crown of the head. Then just bringing the hands underneath the shoulders for a couple of cobras, so gently lifting up. This is more lower back work. Allow the legs to relax. Push the hips down into the mat. Releasing it down, just do 1 more of these. Breathing out into your left. Rising with the crown of the head. Perhaps you find abdominal stretch in there. Releasing it down, press yourself up. We'll release with a cat stretch. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Round the top of the back, tuck the pelvis under. And your choice, if you feel like you want to circle or spiral in there, perhaps take some gentle movements to the corners and around. Chin into chest. Then just take the wrist stretch. So one hand, take the fingers towards the knees. Equal weight through both hands. And then just switch sides, gently peeling, placing. So we go to our front leg pull. We're going to go for a 30-second hold. So set yourself up. You can come all the way down and then lift hips, or if you're happy, straight into hips lifted. Think about this nice straight line on the spine, on the back, and you might want to tuck toes on, take a full plank. If you're doing that, you get that stretch on the arches underneath the feet and the toe stretch. Shoulders down away from ears, keep that crown of head in line with spine. A 30-second hold, but not holding the breath. Let's keep breathing. Do you want me to count? Have I started? Let's go down from 20, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just take a 10 seconds rest. Low plank to high plank then, see if you can do 8 of these. I know I've done this all month, but I do think it's a good one. So hips lifted, push yourself up to high plank and lower yourself down. Option, you can do it full plank version. You can go as fast as you like in this. If you feel like you want to get it over and done with, we're only doing 8. You can just go for it. Try and swap your hands over at some point, so you're not always pushing up through the same side. Allow the hips to kind of shimmy side to side. There will be movement in there. Use the core just to protect lower back, but allow the hips to kind of move. Once you've done those 8, take the hands off the sides. It's the fingertip press-ups. 4 of these, we did these last week. Bending in the elbows, bring it down, lift it up. Treat it like a chest stretch. So lowering it down, nice and slow. Pushing up. Try and stay strong here in the core, so we're not arching in the lower back, so the whole back kind of just moves down. And we're releasing all of that with child's pose. Or puppy dog, if your knees don't suit a child's pose. Puppy dog is this one, hips lifted. Child's pose, perhaps just wiggle the hips side to side, just for a bit of ease there in the hips. And then we'll do the same as last week. You just place both hands off the side of the mat, and then the one that's nearest to the centre of the mat places that one on top, so it's a side body stretch. Bring your head down, so your arms around your ears. 3 deep breaths. So if you can send the breath to the lower back and then all the way up that side body stretch. And then just literally walk the hands over to the other side. And it's the same one. The hand that's nearest the centre of the mat goes on top. 4 deep breaths. Start in the lower back. Send it all the way up that side body. Great, okay, so from there we're going to go on to a little bit of a side thing. I took the time, how are we doing? I knew I'd run out of time a bit today. So we'll go to our clams. So if you've got your loop bands, you can use your loop bands. Pick a side. Bend the knees, heels in line with hips, in line with shoulders, almost like you're going to tilt forwards. About 20, I go for about 20 kind of, not slow, but just nice steady pace clams. Control, maybe hand on hip, that you're not opening in the hip. Really find the core there, work with the core. I've lost count. I went into a bit of a daydream then. Straighten legs, double leg lift. Lift top leg, lift bottom leg. Arm up and over, get the rib cage lifted. Just take a really big stretch here, so really point the toes, send the feet off the mat, then reach right through the fingertips. Looking forwards if you can, not looking down at your feet. Big deep breath in, and then just breathing out, release that down. So the next sequence is with weights if you've got them, and it's the side plank sequence. So option 1, lift up hips, and you've got the knee down. Option 2, full side plank version. Elbow underneath your shoulder. Now try not to let the rib cage collapse or the head drop, so try and keep this head in line with the spine. So very similar to last week, we did it up on the knee last week though. So it's a leg lift, it's knee to elbow, and then it's a thread through twist. And we'll go for 5 of them. So it's a leg lift, it's a knee to elbow, and then it's a twist. So in the full version it's like that. It's leg lift, it's knee to elbow, and then it's twist. It's a leg lift, it's a knee to elbow, and it's a twist. It's a leg lift, it's a knee to elbow. You can do this without the weights as well. Last one. lowering that down, and we'll just, actually I'll do gate pose at the end, so let's go other side. I just want to release on a gate pose with this side series. We'll do them both at the end. So clam, so check your nearly leaning forwards, bend the knees, heels in line with hips, in line with shoulders. 20 of the clam. Perhaps hand on the top of the hip. Quite functional tonight. I don't know if you've noticed that. These are like, I feel like all my essential moves are strength work, flexibility work, with particularly, well, I guess with a little walking, running in mind, but very functional night. With a lot of stretches in warm up. Breathing out left, breathing in lower. The clouds, I can see the window that I'm facing, it looks like the start of The Simpsons. The clouds are just like exactly like that. Haven't watched The Simpsons in ages. I don't have a TV anymore. Haven't had a TV for about 2-3 years now. But I used to watch The Simpsons. Okay, double leg stretch. So just take it for a bit of a release here. So lift one leg, lift the other leg. Lift the rib cage. Find some sort of balance. Then work as much length as you can. Point the toes, send the feet off the mat, pull the tummy in. Reach the fingertips, so really spread the fingers and reach. Eye gaze forwards. Big deep breath in. Breathing out, release it down. Side plank, if you've got your weight, put your weight in. I think I did about 7 on the other side in the end. I got carried away, didn't I? 6 or 7 on this side then. So whether you did hip lift, knee down, or you did the full plank, or a bit of both. Leg lift. Knee to elbow and twist. And leg lift. Try not to collapse here in the rib cage. Crown of head stays in line with spine. Option, you can take that side plank, full side plank. Keep breathing. I'm pretty sure Spider-Man does this, doesn't he? It's for training, particularly the knee to elbow. And release. Put the weights down. Come into kneeling, just for release from that side series escape pose. So doesn't matter which side, we'll do one side then the other. One leg straight, find this inner thigh stretch, and you can almost put your hand on this straight leg, and you can put not weight into it, but just allow a little bit of surrender here with the body. Just allow it, the gravity to bring you down, and then side body stretch. Reach the other arm up. Try not to bring this forwards, or I mean, wouldn't really want to take it back, but try not to kind of really crumble. I say crumble with it forward. So try and keep the length from the hip up the rib cage. The arms not coming in front of the face, so really work at getting length in there. And even if it doesn't look like this, it might look a bit more like that. If you're a little bit tight, don't worry, just work with what you've got. Allow the body just to be where it's at. Fill the rib cage with air. Try not to let the chin drop down too much as well, so try and keep some length here through the neck. And then we'll go just to the other side, so gently find your way around. Again, just take a moment to just allow that gravity to kind of set yourself in that stretch. Good bit of inner thigh stretch. Hips facing forwards. Then when you're ready, you could put in that arm, reaching it up. Notice what happens when you take the arm up, does the knee bend or do you wiggle? So if you can keep the legs straight, if you're tight, this is what happened to me, I was my leg just wobbled because I was tight. So maybe just control the leg, hand there, whilst you bring in the side body. Try not to look down. Keep that length of the neck. Try not to bring the arm forwards. Keep it lifting, reaching up. Feel the rib cage there. A couple of deep breaths. Sit with all the sensations. And release. Okay, so come into lying on your back. Check time, how are we getting on? 10 minutes. Closer. Perhaps a little pelvic tilt, find neutral spine. Shoulders relaxed, length at the back of the neck. If you've got your chin lifting up, grab something, put it underneath your hand, a block or a cushion. Feet, maybe see if your feet, maybe take them a bit further down the mat. We often start with them quite close, so just maybe walk them further away, right angles behind the knees. 5 sets. We go 4 toe taps, 8 pulses, and then an 8-second hold. Okay, find pelvic floor, find TVA. Here we go then. So 4, 3, imprint that lower back down, and 2, and 1, lift head and shoulders, look to knees. Pulse the arms, keep the tummy still. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach the fingertips towards the knees, hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. If you want more, tabletop it. 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Imprint that lower back down, pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And reach, straightening legs if you choose. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ready to pulse, hovers if you want more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Teasers if they're there. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. 2 more sets. 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Ready to pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Smiling if you can. 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Ready to pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Full body stretch. Point the toes, squeeze glutes, pull tummies in, shoulders up to ears. Interlink the fingers. And then just start pulling your fingers away from your body. Scrunch up your face. Big deep breath in. Breathing out. Just let everything go. A moment to relax the muscles of the body. Bending the knees. We're going to go opposite arm, so arms up towards the ceiling. Opposite arm goes over the head, and opposite leg, heel slides away, and then you center it. Engage the core, so pelvic floor and TVA engage. Lower back starts to imprint. Try and keep the control there in the center, because you might find that the hips want to tilt as your heel slide. Maybe the shoulders want to tilt as you drop the arm. Try and stay nice and still. If you've got that nice control there, that precision, you could put it into tabletops. Same move, opposite arm, opposite leg extending, lower back imprinting. Breathing out into your extensions. You can really take your time in this move. 3 more, whichever version that you're in or on. You might just be doing arms, you might just be heel sliding. Feet on the mat, arms up to the ceiling, breathing out, both arms over the head. If you've got the space, circle it around the body. If not, bringing them back up to centre. Again, just taking your time, really long exhales if you're getting the circling in all the way around. As your arms go over the head, just notice what's happening with the spine. Does it lift? So if you can imprint all of the spine down, particularly the mid. I'm finding that my middle of my spine is arching and lifting up. Length there at the back of the neck. Adding in, you could bring in your double leg stretch, so hug knees together as the arms go over the head, straightening out the legs. Get some length in there as you breathe out. You could just take one leg if it's a bit more comfortable. And then it won't be so intense on the core. Keep imprinting that lower back down, especially as well if you've got mid back lifting. Two more, whichever version you're on. Feet on the mat, arms out to the sides, breathing out, let both knees drop across to one side, lower back release. Breathing in centre and then over to the other side. You can bring in your neck release, looking in the other direction. Feel really heavy in your shoulders, so just let the shoulders go. Then your choice, you might want to keep working through that, or you might want to hold that and just take the opposite hand on opposite knee and hold a stretch there for glutes. If you want a little bit more on the core, obliques, tabletops, take it across, extend out to the corners of the room. Probably shouldn't give you so many choices, but sometimes we've all got different things we're working on. Last one, whichever way you're doing it, last breath. Then, so we've been doing eagles, so option to do eagles, the cross arms, cross legs, breathing out, elbows to knees. If you want, you could add, you could take a weighted ab crunch, so this one, you hold on to the weight, very similar to eagle without crossing the arms, and then you just bring knees to elbows and lower. And that's going to be a lot more intense. You're going to have to really work on imprinting the core. I mean, actually, you probably can do it with the legs crossed, but it does kind of jolt the hips, so probably better to stick with just tabletops. So that's the other option if you don't like eagles. So if you can just do 8 of these. If you're in eagle, 4 one way with the eagles and then switch it over, 4 with the other way around. Elbows to knees, imprint lower back down, chin to chest. Breathing out as you lift, breathing in as you lower. Lots of control, especially as you lower it down. Last one. Hamstring stretch, then if you've got a band, you might want to put a band in. We did a lot in the warm-up, so I'm not going to do loads of time on a hamstring stretch today. I'm just going to do a standard 30 seconds. So leg up to the ceiling. Try not to wiggle the hips, so square the hips. Really try and think about the tailbone pushing down into the mat. So don't try and sacrifice lifting up, compromise lifting up your bum to get your hamstring stretched. Push weight at the back of the knee. Perhaps flex the foot as well if you want a bit more intensity. You can always straighten the other leg. Shoulders relaxed. Try and keep all that length in the spine that we've created in practice today. And just breathe. Again, it's this idea of just allowing all sensations to be there in the body, even the bad ones. They're just, you can just allow them to be. Softening in the knee, we'll swap sides again, just a standard stretch, maintenance stretch. Perhaps flexing in the foot, push away at the back of the knee. Check you're not lifting your bum up. Shoulders relax, length at the back of the neck. And then just accept any sensation you're getting. And the idea with that, I guess, is you practice that with your mind as well as your body. So allowing thoughts that we find difficult or we might resist initially, just to be, allow them just to be with us. Harder said than done. I rang the tax office today and because I've changed my phone number to do my self-assessment, I have to ring the tax office and I just didn't get through to anybody. I went on automated things over and over. Yeah, drove me insane. In the end, I gave up. I'm going to write them a letter. If in doubt, write a letter. Release from there then. Place your feet a bit closer, you can touch your heels, knees, feet, hip width. Feet parallel. See if you can take a bit of a pelvic tilt, massage the lower back. Perhaps lift that up into your shoulder bridge, arms over the head, length at the back of the neck, chin into chest. So your choice here, if you want a leg lift, you can put your leg lifts in. So squeezing glutes, just take it for like a bit of a test on glute strength. You might want to straighten the leg as well if you want to do a little bit of work with hamstrings. Try and think about staying nice and still in the hips. If leg lifting isn't suiting you, too wobbly there in the glutes, you could just simply bring the arms back down and lower it all the way back down. You could combine the two, so do a lift, 2 leg lifts, lower down. Last time, into the lift, into some leg lift. Or just holding the lift, squeezing in the glutes, lifting up those hips. Lowering it down, hug knees into chest, a rock or a spiral. So if you can rock yourself up to seated position, we'll go for a roll back. I've stolen a bit of your time. I knew I'd go over. I bet because I slowed it down. Same class as last week. Can we do a seal? Are you all happy to stay on for a few minutes? Yeah. Soles of the feet together. Initially you could take a stretch here. Breathing in, just start to get tall, shoulders relaxed, perhaps lifting up chest. Just take a moment with this stretch. Quite nice as well, soles of feet together, sort of left, right sides of brain kind of coming together. So if you're going to go with seal, take your hands, wrap them underneath, hold on to the feet, 1, 2, 3, then rock it back, 1, 2, 3. See if you can come back to the hover, 1, 2, 3. Treat it like a massage on the spine. Anyone who wants a challenge, I can say I know that I'm not very good at this. When you come into your hover, you could try a open leg teaser balance, but for me, I find that very difficult. Mario's got it. And then you go back over. I tend to just collapse when I try that one. You tend to need quite good hip mobility. Okay, last move before our spine twist to finish. Legs straight, flex the feet, engage the hamstrings. So breathing in, lift arms up to ceiling, try and get nice and tall, circle the arms, maybe touching toes or towards toes. Then lift up. If you choose, you could put in a back plank there. Then lower, then circle halfway, or if you want, all the way down. With control, then chin to chest into your lift. And again, you could put in a back plank for a bit of tricep work. And then forwards. Just having these moments. It's kind of nice hip opening as well on a back plank. And then down. Use the arms circling around. Options on back planks, you can do leg lifts. Nice bit of glute strength. Last time through. Then finishing up with spine twist. So if you want a block or a cushion, grab anything you need to put. If you need to put anything in there to get nice and upright. Shoulders down and back, lift up the chest like you've got a golden thread, just lifting that bit where the rib cage comes into the centre. So not just the heart, I mean just here. Get some lift in here. Golden thread lifting the crown of the head up to the ceiling, the length at the back of the neck. I mean, sometimes I hold on to my shins just to pull myself up to get that lift in there. Palms together, breathing in to get tall. Breathing out for your twist. Breathing in center. Breathing out for your twist. If you feel like you're collapsing a lot in your twist, or if your shoulders are up here, so try and get your shoulders to relax. You could bring it down so you can push from your fingertips. So you're pushing, you're getting that lift on the rib cage and your shoulders, you're sending your shoulders down. If you just feel like that helps, you could do a couple like that. And then just try going back to heart center and see how it feels. Breathing out into your twist. So just before we finish, just a little bit of showing some gratitude to yourself for practicing, and for everybody else for coming in today. So namaste.